Okay, that was a bit of a jump cut right there. I apologize on that. I had someone at my door. Alright, so we are right where we left off. Now we're waiting for... So sadly, we don't have any more movement. We can't get her onto the water, which really sucks because she's going to lose all of her movement getting embarked next turn. And I don't have any spellcasting points, and everybody is all done, so let's end the turn. Cloak and Dagger finished researching. That was pretty quick. That enables us to have 10 more casting points, so now we have 30, so we can utilize more per turn. And we can hold 100 more mana in our stockpiles. Okay, so I don't think we want to research the next one, although we could. Let's see here. Incite Revolt, that's pretty awesome, actually. That is a pretty good one for attacking cities. And I think if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this tutorial, you do end up having to attack a city. So I will get this one. I don't know if it'll be done in time. 9 turns is quite a long time, but we'll see. We're going to travel across the sea and disembark. Sadly, the other units won't be able to cross until next turn. So this turn's going to be pretty quick. Got the treasure. Okay, indeed, it was just money. Let's keep going down the river, see if we can find anything else. Oh, there's some mana. Mana stash. Uh-oh. That looks like we found the enemy's domain. So we got some money. Cool. Now we know where our enemy, or at least one of our enemies are at. Alright. Dismiss. So it was just letting us know in morale, like, different races like different terrain. So if I look at Sundrin, for example, and I look at her, it tells me she likes dense vegetation, she dislikes tropical and subterranean, and hates blighted and volcanic. So fighting in blighted and volcanic territories are very negative morale effective. So that's like a minus 300 morale penalty if she fights in those territories, which will really just make her suck. in all honesty. Treasure rating. Iron Grip. So see, this is a strategic spell that costs mana per turn, so if I were to get this, I would be gaining no mana per turn, just 1. But it would make my city quite happy. The value of rewards for treasure sites and pick up... Nah, see, that one's... I guess this one's okay, too. Let's get treasure rating. It increases the rewards of treasure that I find on the ground. It's pretty cool. It won't be ready until next turn. Let's end the turn. Alrighty, let's cast this spell. Now, right here, as you can see, I had just cast a global spell, a strategic spell. So, it's telling me, what do I want to do? Do I want to finish casting it, or do I want to abort it? I definitely want to cast it. Now, now that it's been cast, it has what's called spell integrity, which means that the higher the integrity, the harder it will be to disenchant this spell, to disjunct this spell. So I could reinforce it, but I don't have any casting points, so if I clicked reinforce, you can see right here I can try to improve its spell integrity, but I don't have any casting points, so I can't do that, sadly, this turn. But that will make it so if the enemy tries to remove that bonus from me, it'll be harder for them. It'll take more of their casting points and mana to remove it. Alright, so we finished the storehouse. What do we want to build in this city? Let's go ahead and build a shrine. We do need some additional mana. Our mana is kind of low right now, only getting 11 per turn. So let's go ahead and move the bird. Ah, look, more treasure. More gold to fill our coffers. Ah, and here we go. There is a tunnel over here. Ah, it looks like he's just letting us know that we just found a cave entrance. Now, this leads to the underground, into the caverns underneath the earth. So we will be exploring that in a minute. He doesn't have any movement points, sadly. We're going to disembark on... We're going to embark on land. And then next turn, our armies... Actually, she could still move a little bit. Awesome. We can actually do this battle this turn. Sadly, the swordsman is going to be left out, but that's okay. Let's go and attack them. Now, if we kill them, it'll destroy this camp, and they will no longer spawn enemies. So these brigands, they have palisade walls. Okay, palisade walls are the weakest form of wall. They're what your city has if you have no wall, pretty much. And they get destroyed really quickly, but they do still offer some defense. Now, they're obviously just going to wait and let us come to them, because, hey, they have the protection of the wall. Why not? But first we gotta move our units this way. Okay, that's cool. Now it's just letting us know that our unicorn riders, because the elves, their unicorn riders have phase. In fact, I'm sorry, elves are the only ones that have unicorn riders, but unicorn riders have phase, and other mounted cavalry from other races do not. So you can teleport behind enemies. It's a great way to get around, but you can only attack once after you've done it, and it has to be something that's right next to you. So, and it consumes all your action points. So if you can't move before you do it either. So we're just gonna move all the way up. Alright, so now these guys are very important. So we got cavalry, right? Now cavalry are great because they have charge, which means if they move at least 3 or more hexes, they can do additional 6 damage that turn. And they have armor piercing, so they counter armored units. Or at least these mounted units do. You always got to check every unit, because every unit in each race is different, slightly. So, but now if you look at these pikemen, because they're a pikeman, they have first strike, polearm, and pike square, which means that they attack first when defending, unless the attacking unit also has first strike, so that's awesome. So if someone goes to attack them from the front, they will be like, nope, I'm going to attack you first, and then you get to go. And then polearm does 4 more physical damage against mounted and flying units, and pike square gives you additional defense against flying and mounted units. So they're great at they counter cavalry, you know. So that's, except maybe human cavalry, just because they have so much HP and defense, they're tier 3 units, like, but they could still hold their own. Pikemen are still great against cavalry, regardless. So archers cannot also fire their bows if they're being attacked by melee. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Actually, can they fire? No. Alright, so let's move them up. Archers behind, because that will make sure that not only are they defending, but if they try to attack my archers, they have a line of sight penalty as well. Okay, and because we used all of our casting points on our turn, we don't have any casting points, so we can't cast any spells. So we're shit out of luck right there. We just gotta work with what we got. Okay, we can do a lightning bolt, of course, penalties. Let's try to destroy. We're gonna move here and we're gonna destroy this obstacle, so that way they can get some attacks in without having a line of sight penalty. So here we go. We're gonna switch to lightning bolt. They're gonna get to do 10 to 16 damage. So let's do that. Now the archers could probably finish them off. Oh yeah, they got it. They don't have that line of sight penalty anymore. Now we have an opening. We can actually enter the wall. Now we can fire across these. We do have a penalty, but it still does a bit of damage. Let's see, who hasn't gone? Let's move these guys up. Destroy that wall. Oh, they failed. Alrighty. So I'm just moving all these units up. There's really not much to them. They're so far back that they have to get into the fight. Now I have to just decide what I want to do with these archers, which I think I'm just going to actually defend them and move them back. If they don't really have a good shot, might as well not take a shot. Ah, they're really, really wanted to come in to kill my archers. Wow, they almost did. They were like, let's take out his archers, no matter what we do, they're undefended. And I kind of let them have a path because my unicorn riders are facing the wrong direction because they had to destroy the wall. Alright, but they've left themselves wide open now. They are definitely going to get decimated. We're going to flank them with a lightning attack. Finish them off with the horse riders. And now use the archers. We're going to move 1 square back so we can get, because we're not getting a flanking attack right here. So let's move them 1 square back. So they still got all 3 shots. And their first shot's going to go. And then this archer. Now, another thing to note is no matter how much health the unit has, they still do full damage. The death of the units is just a visual just eye candy, pretty much. So, full damage. Bam. Win. Now this unit just got promoted, which means that now it's going to get bonus HP and damage. This is great. Units can actually promote endlessly in this game, but once they reach champion, they just keep getting more health. Alright, so for winning, we got a high elf. They gave us a high elf settler. And we finished the brigand hideout quest. We've definitely destroyed that. And, ooh. And rewards are always random, so you never know what you're going to get. So it kind of keeps things interesting. The Frost, just a tier 1 Frostling Harpooner. Fortifying Cup that removes disease debuffs. Actually, against the goblins, like, they have some debuffs that make blight damage do more damage. So that actually might be a good one actually to get. I'm going to take it. But sadly, he can't pick it up because he's not a hero. But I can actually click on the unit. You can see the bag on the ground flashing. And there's a bag icon letting you know there's a bag underneath him. So I'm going to click on that item. I'm going to click on it. And I could, even though he can't put it in his inventory because he's not a hero, he can still send it to a hero. So we're just going to send it to her. It's going to take one turn anyway. She can't move this turn to pick it up. That ensures it's off the ground and no one else can steal it from me. Alright, so our quest right here is this icon is letting us know we need to build a city here. So when you have a settler, which typically you want to keep them well defended because you don't want to lose a settler, because this is like population of your city, right? So we're going to build, so select, click the build icon underneath the movement points. Units that could build things have that. And they'll only have one option, is to found a city. We're going to found it right where we want it. Now, in this area, they're telling us to place it here because you can see that this great farm, which adds additional population, is inside the domain. The gold mine's inside the domain, and the mana node is inside the domain. So that's a pretty good bonus. I mean, that's a pretty good city's place. So not only will the town generate more mana and gold, but it will also get more population. Alright, sweet. I'll go with that. So now, it's letting you know you can build settlers in the Builder's Hall, and you can only collect from resources that are inside of your domain. So the domain radius is this circle around your city. Let's go into the underground. Oh, he doesn't have enough movement points. Bummer. But these guys can certainly move to defend the settler while he's building. And we are now done with our turn. We have no castle points, so... Alright, cities only take one turn to make, so to be created, so now we have our city. We finished settling our city. Now, the thing is, though, this city cannot gain bonuses from these nodes, except this one, because it's already cleared, I think, yeah. And you can see when it tells us, like, it's all highlighted, so it's all good to go. It's producing gold. Another way you can tell to see what it's producing is you can mouse over it. Oh, look at that! It's not producing any mana, even though there's a mana node, because there's a monster. There's an independent army on top. So we gotta clear those out. So let's focus on that. We're gonna take the unit with the highest movement point and tell him to initiate the fight, so then he can move there and back, and then my unit can still move as far as it could otherwise do. Oh, they don't want to fight because my army's too big. They're trying to flee, so I'm just going to let them. But if you choose not to let them, you have to fight them. And it's considered an evil deed to attack things that are fleeing. So we're just going to let them go. And we got a tiger, which is a tier 1. Cool. Let's take the tiger. Let's move this guy down here to join the fray. In fact, we'll move him on the city so we can bring the tiger onto him, and we're going to attack this mana node. And the penguins just, wow, they really just don't want to fight. I mean, they don't want to run. They really want us to fight. Actually, we can actually auto-combat this, which is interesting. Now, we will definitely decimate them in auto-combat. We might lose the archer because they are at low HP. That's another thing to consider with auto-combat, is it likes to pick on units that are low HP. So, we might lose the archer. If we did it manually, we would definitely not lose anything, but let's go ahead and see what auto-combat comes out with. Okay, we didn't lose anything, just as I thought. If it would have lost something, I would have been really displeased. Ah, here we go. Sundrin, a refugee camp. Okay, so refugee camps, they offer population to the nearest city. So this is our nearest city, which is our new city. To get that though, we'd have to cross the mountains, and mountains they cost an abysmal amount of points to get across. The bird is all the way over here, sadly, so looks like we're not going to be getting that anytime soon. Let's hit enter. So now we're in the underground. The underground, as you can see, is much different than the above ground. There's cavern walls, narrow paths, lava, and it's just overall pretty bad down here. Oh, look, and it's just a tunnel that leads to another cave entrance. It's kind of cool. So it looked like he was heading east, so he went under here. Oh, look, yeah, see? It pops out right here. So if you didn't want to disembark in the water, you could just travel underground and it might be faster. So see that? The underground has some uses. You can also build cities down there and whatnot. Alright. So morale of the city is pretty good, 76. It's not as great as it could be, but at least it's not negative. Let's up our knowledge gain, because our knowledge gain is pretty low anyway. Let's build a laboratory. Yeah, let's do that. Item has arrived. We got the cup. See now, and what's cool is we get this cure disease ability just by it being in our inventory. This is one of those ones that are like that it doesn't need to be equipped. So that's cool. Okay, can she move any farther down? No, she cannot. They can't move either, and he can only move one square. So we are practically done. Let's build a... Wow, see, so this is an example of a city that doesn't have... It's like a brand new city. This is typically how it starts. They have 20 production, and they can't really do much. So you can see everything's taking like 5 turns or more to build, like except the shrine. So the thing that you want to build the most is the Builder's Hall. The Builder's Hall gives you additional 20 production in the city, and with production, it cuts down the time of all the buildings in the city. So like the Builder's Hall, as you can see, it takes 100 production to build and 100 gold, and so it's going to take 5 turns at our current rate of 20 production per turn. So we're going to build that. And one of the cool things that you could do is you can actually tell it to hurry this building up by clicking this hurry icon, which will cut it down to 1 turn, but it will cost additional gold, and it applies a happiness penalty to your city for 5 turns. But I'm going to do it because it's going to help kickstart the city. This is the only time I'm going to do it in this city. Okay, so next turn I get my Builder's Hall, and then now everything after that will be able to be built like 2 turns quicker. So that's great. That saves me a whole bunch of time for that city. And we're gonna summon more crows. So here we go. Now I can summon the crow next to my hero, and it can go fly right over the mountains and get the refugee camp. And that added about 900 population to my nearby city of Lyrene, which it's going to grow in 6 turns at its current population growth rate. And because it's by the Great Farm, it gets a bonus right here, yeah, 100, bonus 100, so it's pretty cool. Go down south and explore some more. Alright, it's saying we finished exploring the island, and we found it says, oh yeah, it says right here, we found a shrine. It's the Tomb of Elwyn. Okay, the constant gnawing on the sacred bones of our ancestors by these goblins have to stop. Go to the tomb and enter to end its miserable lives of these filthy creatures. Okay. But I do not... Actually, they can reach it, but I really want my hero in the fight, so they're just going to move next to her. I'm going to check them out. Now, this green check just tells them to get it off the queue over here. And you can also hit J or click this green check mark, so I'm going to move this unit. And if you use all of its movement points, I think. Yeah, then just hit J, it's done. Now we're going to exit out this tunnel. And here we go. Yeah, it's back to this island that we already discovered before. But let's fly around this island and see what's up. Looks like he has one big army just sitting on his castle. Okay, so shrines give bonuses to those who enter it on their... Shrines are sites that give visiting units a bonus for their next fight. Once used, they will need a few turns to recharge before they can offer their blessing again. So it's talking about this spring of life. Oh wait, no, it's the shrine behind it. I'm sorry. The Shrine of the Wizard King. It bestows units with life drain, Elven King's blessing, and high morale for their next battle. And it also adds 10 knowledge when located in their domain. So that's really awesome, actually. Let's give it to these guys. Alright, because they're not going to be in this next fight, and so that means I could save it maybe for a harder fight. Or, yeah. Uh-oh. I did a boo-boo. I could take the fight. Yeah, let's just take the fight with them then. I'm going to move my Unicorn Rider off so that I can move my hero on. And we're going to take the fight to this tomb this turn. So let's click again and hit enter. So you just have to click on the unit twice to click the thing underneath it. And we're going to manual combat. So now a tomb is like a dungeon. It's like one army versus one army. And it's in a special domain, and as you can see, just like the mana node previously, it has a special spell effect on each turn a dead unit will come back to life. Well, that's not good. Under the caster's control is an undead ghoul. The corpses of undead, machine, elemental, and incorporeal units cannot be affected, however. Units of the tomb, independence. So this is that's the buff for the independence. At the beginning of the turn, one of them comes back to life, and as a ghoul. Ghouls are a little bit weakened, so they're not full strength, but... So we're gonna guard the entrances with our melee troops, and as you can see, this bowman is really weakened, so we want to be careful with him. I'll use my hero. Now, all I did was really just move up, put some guys to block the pass. Maybe using my hero wasn't the best idea, because they're going to try to focus her, but she could take some hits. And then my other units can clean up the fight. Okay, so let's see here. We just have some spitters and some marauders. Not too hard, or untouchables as their real name is. So the untouchables are really bad in melee, so we're going to move up. We're going to double shot them with our archers. Because the archers are directly behind the pikemen, they do not get the line of sight penalty. I think I've explained that, but I'll just wanted to repeat it. Then the pikemen can finish them off, and they get an 8 damage life drain from that shrine that we got. So for this battle, all the units that touch that shrine, so everyone but the hero, have that lifesteal. So that was actually pretty cool. Okay, I can move my hero up and spit some darts. Yeah, let's do that. That'll honestly probably kill them. Yeah, I finished them off. Cool. Alright, we can move forward. Let's harpoon throw. It has a chance to immobilize the target for 2 turns. That's pretty good. Let's do that. Sadly they resisted. To be expected, I guess. Alright, so I moved my archers behind some units to fire, and let's go for the untouchables because it seems to do a lot more damage on them. The Elven King's Blessing seems to add holy damage to my shots. That's really cool too. It's a really good buff. Oh wow, they wiped the floor with them. Sweet. Alright, let's end the turn. Oh, and there we have a unit coming back to life as ghouls. And they did a spit. Thankfully they didn't. It wasn't enough to kill them. So with the life drain over here, my units barely took any damage. Improved life drain is a beast, dude. 8 health every hit. That is awesome. Okay, so let's just finish these guys off again with the archers. Ghouls take more damage to spirit damage, which my archers, because of their Elven King's Blessing, get a bonus to spirit damage on their attacks. So that was awesome. And let's see here. We can't flank them, sadly, with my pikemen. I really wanted to do that. Maybe I shouldn't have put them in the way. I can still flank them with my hero, however. And then she can get the flanking charge backstab. It's important to try to, like, attack the enemy at his weak points. Typically, you know, you want to flank units when you can. Keep your archers protected behind your soldiers and let them get their shots off without line of sight penalties and range penalties. So we found that that was the tomb of our hero's daughter, or our grandfather. She's her granddaughter. but I'm not, like I said, I'm not really getting into stories or about gameplay and whatnot. We finished the quest and we explored the dungeon. Now, whenever you explore a dungeon or a special building, dungeon-like building, you get rewards. And so we got a Darkbringer's gemstone, which has urban concealment. The unit is invisible in structures on the strategic map. So if my army was, or my unit was standing on, I'm sorry, it's just for the hero, but if she was standing on like a building, any type of structure, yeah, she'd be invisible. So they wouldn't be able to see her. So I don't really think that that's useful, so I'm just gonna sell it. All right, our shrine is finished, so now our mana production has gone up. So that's a great way of improving mana income, is by building shrines. And the more cities you have, the more shrines you can have. So, same thing with laboratories. You can get a lot of knowledge just by having multiple cities with laboratories. Harbors, sadly, are only used for boats, so they don't really offer any direct bonus other than that, which is kind of a shame. So this city really is so far away, it's going to be hard to reinforce with an army, so this is going to be more like a resource city. So I guess we could just have it build a temple. And a temple is the next building after the shrine, and it adds an additional 10 more mana and unlocks production of support units, which is great. So we'll be able to build spellcasters, such as the lightning. What are their names? The Storm Sisters, that's right. Okay, so this city finished building that quick builder's hall in 1 turn very quickly. Its morale is still okay, but it does have a penalty for 4 turns because of us rushing the order. But now everything in the city is going to be built at a much more reasonable time. So if we wanted the city to produce, we probably want the city to produce troops because it's it can really reinforce. So let's build a barracks. And now, if you have the expansion, there's this thing called race governance level, and it's specifically for a race. So since we started out as, you know, high elves, we're building high elves race happiness by expanding and building more high elf cities. And now we got to rank up with them, and you get experience with them every turn based on what you do. And so we can choose one of these ones. One gives you 50 population growth for cities that have a shooting grounds, and the other gives you +1 range damage to longbowmen and hunters, which I'm going to go for the damage. I'm not really, especially on this map, I'm not really pressed for population growth, so you are done. You can't move. Let's move you farther down. You might be able to see some stuff across the bridge. Ooh, we got some haste berries right here, where if you step on one of these, it'll restore all your movement points. But it takes 3 turns to recharge, so you can only do that once every 3 turns. Let's see here. We can cast more spells. We have some mana. We could... Let's summon more crows. Might as well, you know? They're extra scouting units that we can... when we go in to take the city, we can have them converge on the city and also support us in battle. So we're ready to end the turn. We've already cleared the shrine, so we're going to move on out. Ah, sadly we cannot reach the haste berries. What a bummer. But we can move out our army. And let's put them back together. And then we got our tigers. Ooh, our tigers actually can go farther. Actually, they can make it all the way there, but there's really no need. Okay. So now if either one of them gets attacked, at least one unit will be there to help defend. So let's go ahead. That's not the optimal positioning for 3 armies, but since this is just a tutorial, it's fine. Normally you would want to do it in a triangle kind of formation, where no matter which one gets attacked, they all join in on the fight. So you would have all 3 armies rather than just 2. Let's summon some crows. Now we just got some more vision. Hey, look, there's another cave entrance. This is a different one. You can enter that. Nothing... We don't really see anything interesting. Let's go ahead and head back out. Alright, so it looks like next turn we might be assaulting the enemy's capital city. And Echo. Echo the explosive. And the city is called Zorku. Okay. So yeah, let's just tell him to chill out. Chill out. Let's move you guys closer. Oh, what did I just pick up? Oops. It was a promotion thing. That would have been great to pick up with one of my armies. It promotes everybody in the army by 1 rank. That was a waste on the crows. What a bummer. I didn't even see it there hiding behind the mountains. Alright, so we still have 10 casting points, which we could utilize for a spell next turn. And we can probably summon another set of crows. Okay. Let's move this unit over 1 so we can bring in our big army. He's threatening us because we're in his domain, which I'm not really worried about you, buddy. Okay. They were talking about the city, how this city has walls, so they gave us a trebuchet, which is awesome. But we're going to utilize that after we finish this wipe up the floor of this shrine. Very likely victory. Let's do it. Now we're attacking this shrine because it gives a buff for people that walk on it for the next battle. So what do we have here? Great Reawakening. We'll have to read that once they're done moving because it likes to flick away the tooltip. Alright, so resurrects a random friendly unit after each round. Resurrected units are brought back with 50% of their total health. Wow, so it's kind of like the other one, except they don't come back as ghouls, but they only come back with half their life. Okay. So these guys are really far away, so we're just going to move them closer. Now, these guys are shieldmen, so they're blocking off the paths beside them, which is good. Wow, oh yeah, there's a 3rd unit here. Oh, so this is a Lesser Spirit Elemental. It has a lot of life. It's a tier 2 unit, has 50 health. It can heal and buff at the same time, apparently. Buff 1 defense and resistance. And, oh, it has a lot of protection. Frost protection, fire protection, spirit protection, and shock protection. Almost immune to that kind of stuff. But it's weak against blight, so we can utilize our hero's acid dart to fucking do some damage. I apologize for my language there. Let's see here. Let's move forward. Ooh, they can actually get a shot off. Not worth it. Minus 100% damage, or like, I mean, it's like minus 50% and then minus 50% more of that. So it was like 25% damage. It's like, nah, it's not worth. Okay, these spikemen are not gonna go. These guys, however, will. Oh, these guys are not defending because they attacked our archers. So that is perfect. We can actually move these guys in and do a range shot, which does physical and ice damage quite a bit, and it has a 50% chance to immobilize them for 2 turns. Yes, they're immobilized. They can no longer move, but they can still throw their harpoons. So let's move 1 square forward to get in range and do a range shot to finish them off. There we go. So now they ranked up. You can see that for their rank, they turned into veterans, so they got a bonus. So in total, they got 2 range strength and 4 HP and 1 defense from ranking up twice now. So they got a pretty good bonus. It's making them quite powerful. We could surround this thing. We could use our crows as cannon fodder. I'm going to do that. So what I did is I just surrounded him. In fact, I could attack and do some flanking damage. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to attack them, and now they're forced to turn the other direction. And because my unit can only attack once, they don't get to counterattack because they were flanked. So let's do it again. Turn them back and forth, do some damage, weaken them up, soften them up for the next turn. And I'm not really scared, so I'm just gonna go full in with my hero. But I'm not gonna spend my time attacking because just they're defending and I can only attack once, and so it's just really not gonna be worth it. It's better to be in a defensive stance and retaliate next turn. Alright, let's end turn. Ah, I forgot about this. Oh, they come back with no movement. So, oh, my poor birds. They got decimated. One of them's completely dead. But they don't come back with any movement, so they can't do anything. Oh, what? Or they can. I guess they just can't move, but they can still attack. Alright, let's kill them again, shall we? We're gonna bring the initiates up behind him and get a lightning shock. And finish them off with the harpoons. Now I'm using these irregular units to finish them off, so then my archers maybe could get a full set of shots on this guy. Or at least 2 shots. Because he had to move up 1 more square than I thought. That's still quite a bit of damage. And then we can move up and easily kill him with my hero. Even with my darts, I can finish him off. Ah, cool, the hero leveled up. Now she's going to get some skill points to use outside of battle. Okay, so these birds can't do much, so they're just going to defend maybe... So when it moves away on its turn, it'll take a free hit from the birds. Because it's probably going to come attack my hero. So we're just going to move everyone up. I know, this army is probably way too big. We probably don't even need to bring up everybody. In fact, let's just leave those guys back there and end the turn. Okay, so again, they got resurrected and they just finished off my frostlings. And they decided to kill the birds. Which is fine, because you can see now the birds have greatly weakened this lesser elemental to the point where she's practically useless. I mean, because we could easily probably one-shot her. Yeah, we can one-shot her with our flanking of our unicorn riders. And she was the biggest threat of all, and we could easily finish off these guys this turn, so... And there we go. Just wipe the floor with them. Alright, so now the units that stepped on that, I believe, yeah, they've received regrowth for the next battle, which restores 20% of their health at the beginning of their owner's turn. So that's pretty good. And so over here on our notifications, we can see that our hero leveled up. So now I have 5 upgrade points that I can spend. So you can, like, you know, things that are cheap at the start are hit points and defense and some resistance, melee strength, range strength. But then there's other more interesting abilities down below. Like armor piercing cancels, it pretty much negates armor, which increases your damage you can do up against armor targets by 2. We have break control, which removes all spirit debuffs and such as panicked and berserk and mind control effects from a unit. Sorry, I needed to drink a little bit of water there. And it gives strong will for 1 round, so they can't be mind controlled for 1 round. So it's really good to remove debuffs and even to prevent a like a mind control from happening on a specific unit that you might want to otherwise to not be mind controlled. Okay, so we got Dirty Half Dozen, which makes all units in the hero's army gain Devout Slayer, causing 3 damage against devout units. So that is a hero ability, a leader ability. They have to be leading the army to get that ability, or that effect to their army. So only one leader can be per army. So if you have 2 heroes in that army, well, the second hero, it doesn't matter if he has a bunch of leadership abilities, because he's not leading the army. Alright. Because Infiltration Squad makes all units in the hero's army gain wall climbing. Again, another hero leading ability. Inflict Crippling Wounds makes all melee and ranged attacks have a chance to cause cripple, reducing their movement points for 2 turns, which also makes it so they can't attack as much in that turn. So I'm going to get Crippling Wounds for sure. It's a really good ability. Undead Slayer gives you 3 more damage against undead. Sabotage allows you to sabotage machine and walls. And Night Vision gives you +2 range in the underground, which you have negative range in the underground, but I don't think there's anything worthwhile in this map to be going under there, so I'm not going to get that. I'm going to instead improve her range strength so she could be utilized more on the battlefield. And maybe 1 more defense. So we did indeed lose both of our crows that were in that battle, but I summoned another, so now we have 2 more. And we have no casting points, so there's really no need to queue up a spell this turn. Let's go ahead and move in. Now we're going to surround the city, so all the units get to participate in the battle. Okay, so here we have it. Now we can, when I attack, every unit's going to be part of the battle. And so that's really great. Another useful thing to note is that, let's say you wanted to siege a city, but you weren't ready to attack, but you had your units stationed out in such a way that they're in their domain. If you look at his, well, that's kind of weird. His city is supposed to be getting a debuff of happiness for our units being inside of his domain. But I guess since this is the tutorial, it doesn't actually happen. But so another thing you can do is when you can't fully successfully take the fortress, you could literally just stick your units in their domain to reduce their happiness, and you can also place units on their structures, which will prevent their structures from actually giving them their bonus. But we don't need to do any of that this turn. I think we definitely could take out this unit and take the city, so we're going to attack. And sadly, we did not get our Incite Revolt. Otherwise, I would have done that. This is going to be the last battle of this episode. It'll be the end of the tutorial mission, and hopefully I've explained enough and taught you something new that you might have not known, and or helped you get started in the Age of Wonders game, because this game is very strategic, and it could be a lot to take in at first glance. So trebuchets are machines and do not regenerate HP, but they can launch boulders onto the walls, and they cannot attack and move in the same turn. But that is a little deceiving, right? Because they can move in anywhere in the green area, so they can move one space and still attack. But if they move farther than that, then they can't. But since he's so far away this turn, I'm gonna move him as far as he can. Alright, so we're gonna move up our units. Our birds, let's just move them up as far as they can go. Well, actually, yes, as far as they can go. They are more like cannon fodder to me because they're summoned units. And I see them as ways of getting in a slight advantage over the enemy. So I'm going to use them to flank them. Now I'm moving my units at a downright angle because this is where the battle's going to take place. It would probably be better to attack either that gate or this gate, but with this force, I'm sure we can overwhelm them. So I'm going to just move everybody up. I'm not really mattering. Position does not really matter as long as they get as far as they can. And we're going to move the Tiger up and the Hero up. Actually, the Hero was probably a bad call, but I'll defend it with the Pikeman. Okay, sadly, again, because I cast a spell, I don't have any casting points, so that's quite a bummer. I could have waited a turn to attack the city when I did have mana points. Okay, so there they cast Weakening on my Tigers, so that means that they're going to take more blight damage and have lowered defenses. And apparently they just got Noxus Vulnerability again. Oh god, they're weakened and have that. Oh boy. My hero does have that teacup, so she can actually clear diseases. Yeah, I could dispel both effects in this one turn. Let's do it. And see, the teacup comes in handy. Now the Tigers are free to do as they please. They're going to go up to the gate but not attack, because on the next turn they're going to be able to attack multiple times and destroy the gate. As long as they don't get attacked themselves. So yeah. Okay, let's move some units up. Now these birds, see, they can initiate these rangers now. So I'm probably going to do that just to give them something to focus on while I move my units up and take the gate. So let's move this over here. We're going to get a flanking attack. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other bird and get another flanking attack by turning them around the way we want. Now we can almost finish off this unit actually if we sacrifice some damage. Oh, I could do 2 to 3. That's not that good. Let's do it though. We're gonna try. We're gonna do all of our attacks on that unit. Try to take him out this turn. There we go. The archers finished him off because they were able to attack twice, and even though they did have line of sight penalties, they still did enough damage to finish him off. So the trebuchet, so I might be able to move 1 square and attack. I can attack a wall. Let's do that. Oh, line of sight. Let's do this wall. Let's move this unit over. Oh. I did not see those guys. Those swarm darters are going to do a bunch of damage to these guys. That's not good. But if I position them in such a way so next turn I can counterattack with all 3 Storm Sisters, I might be able to destroy them. Because I'm going to overwhelm them with damage, even with their line of sight penalties from the wall. Because the walls, they give a +2 range bonus to all range units, so you can see he can fire quite far. He can hit almost anybody he wants. And they also get, the walls cause line of sight penalty towards us, but not them. Not unless it's at a weird angle. So let's go ahead and end the turn. Hopefully we don't lose a whole bunch of units this turn. Okay, they went towards the initiates. Those guys, honestly. Okay, my archers on the other hand, losing those sucks. That sucks. So they're focusing on the birds, trying to clear out the birds. So now the gate is free to take. The gate's mine. Oh wow, that musket shot almost killed them. How did it do that? Okay, but anyway, the gates are open. Alrighty. So let's move them up. Oh, I actually have wall climbing on my swordsman? How did I get that? Sweet. I guess all infantry might have that? Okay. I really don't want to go up there though, but yeah, let's do it. They don't have a lot of ranged attackers, so, and he just used his gun, and guns have a 1-turn cooldown. You can also mouse over his ability to see that. Let's see here. Let's move the trebuchet up 1. And we can almost... Why is there a line of... Let's just... Oh, I moved up onto the wall that sadly I was attacking with the trebuchet. So I'm getting a line of sight penalty from the pikemen for whatever reason. So I'm going to move them and then fire my shot. Okay. So let's move up. Now these Storm Sisters, let's see if my plan is going to work. Ah, man, they are really... If they would be one step further, I would do so much more damage to them. But they are really standing on the back. Let's try what we can to... Yeah, I would have easily defeated them if it wasn't for that. But I can phase my Unicorn Riders right over here next to them, because they have a phase ability, and it's barely enough range. Let's do it. And I can finish them off. So now I don't have to worry about those guys. Sadly, the pikemen... Oh, the pikemen cannot reach. That is perfect, because otherwise they would have got a flanking attack, and they counter cavalry, so that would have been bad. Let's see here. What can I do with my hero? Not a whole lot. I don't want her to take a bunch of damage. But I will blow some darts. Yeah, let's do the regular darts. It doesn't really do enough. Oh, but I could have a chance to cripple the hero, so I'll do it on the hero. There we go, crippled. So what does that do? Crippled reduces their movement by 12, so he can take less. He can't move around as much and can't attack as much. So, good. Oh, and some of my units have regrowth, but I don't think the ones with it have been getting attacked. Okay, he did indeed finish off the tiger, sadly. But it did it did its job. It knocked down the door. Okay, so why are they? It looks like they're about to send their pikemen outwards. Well, I can meet them with the swordsman. So now they're they can't really go anywhere except fight the swordsman without taking a lot of free shots. So that was why I moved those up. I kept them in defensive stance because they can't reach, obviously. Alright, so let's finish destroying this wall. Alright, so now my hero, we can actually walk up this, because when you destroy a wall, it becomes a ramp. So let's clear this off for my swordsman to go up. Let's see if I could... oh, range penalty? Okay, let's get rid of that range penalty. I can still attack 3 times, so let's do that. Ow! They might even die. Yes, they are. Perfect. Okay, so I just parked my pikemen in front of their mounted hero, because all heroes are considered mounted. So, I don't think he'll be going anywhere, but he probably will attack my guards. They won't take a whole lot of damage. They might die, but they will dish out way more than they got dealt, so that's a win in my book. We could almost surround him. The pikemen, though, the pikemen have me worried because I don't want to lose my unicorn riders, so I'm thinking I'm just going to run them away and attack the gate. Try to get them out of there. Now the Storm Sisters are going to come in and get some damage to the pikemen, but I need them to stand behind the soldiers so that they have to take hits to get to them. So sadly I'm not going to get a lot of good shots, but it at least weakens them a little bit. Now, sieging a fort with a wall like this could be really challenging sometimes, depending on the army size and stuff. And you want to really bring the right units to the battle. Okay, attack of opportunity. I see now that exactly what I thought was going to happen. His hero is trying to move away and just got attacked by my units for trying to move when he was in combat with them because they were next to him. So he got. So my guys just got a free stab at him. Did a lot of damage, and now they could even get behind him, and I could attack twice, but I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna oh wait, no. Oh, he's in defensive stance, so he's gonna, let's just defend as well. We'll do the same thing. If he wasn't in defensive stance, I would have moved one more square forward, attacked once, and got a flanking attack, and he wouldn't have been able to counterattack. But because he defended, I kind of have to just move up. Okay, so I'm gonna guard with my shield swordsman. I need them to hold out as long as they can because they're by themselves. They have no reinforcements. I need to bring my hero up there, but her morale is pretty low. And oh, she could cure it actually. Let's do that. There we go. That brings her morale back up to normal. Now we're gonna finish off these pikemen this turn. So let's go right behind him and zap him. Look at that damage. Now the swordsman. I need them to hit the wall, these ones, so I need them to... These ones retaliated against and did a big fight with them, so they have no movement points left because of all the retaliations. So I'm going to use these swordsmen. I'm going to kill these pikemen with the sisters. And use this swordsman to almost destroy the wall. I wish I could have gotten it on that turn, but what can you do? So let's zoom out a little bit and... Sisters. Okay, our catapult can move up one square, and let's see. It's not in range of doing... Oh, actually, it could hit their hero, but it won't do a whole lot of damage. But, I mean, there's really nothing else it can do, so might as well. Ha! It did max damage that it could possibly do. Sweet. So now the Unicorn Riders. I'm going to move them back because the beetles went away. Or the pikemen are gone, the beetles went away, and they need to go into force. Okay, sadly they have Overwhelm, and Overwhelm is a counter to shields, because it adds 3 more damage against them, against pikemen and shielded units, and the shields only add 2 defensive bonus, so it's a counter. It adds damage to them, so that's kind of bad. Let's see here. I could potentially finish off their hero. Let's move 2 squares up. I'm going to shoot some darts at him in the back. I think that'll be better. Because then he will be so low on health, he won't even be able to move. Otherwise he'll die to the pikemen. Yeah, now the pikeman could just straight out kill him. He's dead. It's even better. Alright, let's break down this door. We can climb up the walls. So next turn they can join in. Alright, so all we got is these beetles. There's really not a whole lot I can do to maneuver to get to where I need to be, but I can do long-range zap attacks. They don't do much damage, however. But it's the best I could do. Move my trebuchet up, and it can get a shot in, but it won't do much damage. But hey, Half-Life, so... Yeah, he went after the swordsman because they were climbing up the wall. Probably a bad move on my part, but it definitely tempted them to come in. Because it weakened their defense, and yeah, so they pretty much got destroyed. That was pretty mean of me to have them die like that. So I'm gonna purposely expend movement points, so that way my unit only attacks him once, because I don't want him to get counterattacked. Plus they get a charge bonus now for moving that many squares. And we can finish it off with the swordsman. A lot of levels up right there. Alrighty. Now, if you have any other questions about the game, please feel free to leave a comment and a like if you learned a lot. That is the end of this tutorial, and I just would like to re-emphasize how strategic this game is. Takes a lot of thought and very strategic. Now, you don't always have to you don't have to go into detail as much as I do or other people might, but it's beneficial to do so. Strategy gets you a long way. I mean, heck, it's a strategy game, so it better do that. And the thing about this game is you want to expand just like other games like such as Civilization, and the more you expand, the more resources you can accumulate, the bigger armies you can have, you can eventually start building higher and higher tier monsters, and there's just a large variety of units in this game that makes the game feel really interesting and compelling to play. So with that, I hope you enjoyed my Age of Wonders 3 playthrough, and have a nice day.